my thing. Wait. There we are. Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is, I should start it out with, it's the 17th of December, 2017. It is our European and UK show that we bring you every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would like to first address this china that I am wearing. Leah beats me. She literally gets so angry at times that she blows punches at me. It's abuse, and I feel that you could send money to
tell them what really
maybe
happened.
Bribe it to stop. I don't know. Okay, no, seriously, yesterday we got a bunch of pig feed, and the way we have to do that is put a bunch of barrels, 55-gallon drums in the back of Matt's, or aka Kansas's, flatbed pickup truck. Great plan. And then our hay guy, Donald, mixes the feed, and we put it in the barrels. Fantastic. And then you have to put these lids on. And these lids are big, like barrel size. This is a coaster, but it'll work for all intents and purposes. They have a lid, and then there's a metal ring that goes around it, and you cinch it. They're really hard to work. I mean, really difficult.
They are.
So I need to put the lid back on. We've got them all filled. And I'm sitting on top of the truck, on top of these barrels. And I'm trying to get this ring separated from the lid so I can put the lid on and then put the ring around it. And I'm pulling. And like literally, I don't even know how it happened. But I yanked and it hit me like this. And like my whole head like went back like fast. And my sunglasses went behind. I had like earmuffs on. They went like bluey. And I'm just like, ow, ow, ow. Like, in Kansas, he classic guy, right? Not like, oh man, that must have hurt. Are you okay? He's like, really, you can open that ring a little bit wider and it'll be easier to get out. And I was just like, I had it open and wide and I could get it. Okay, my friend. Now look, I got like a little, it hit me like square. I'm lucky I'm blessed. I didn't break my nose, but I have like a little smiley face here, and then I didn't notice until last night. I was feeling my face. I was like, "Oh, that hurts." And then I woke up with this. So I'm really just working out some sympathy here because I didn't break my nose and I'm fine. I just had this little sore spot, but I didn't put makeup on it because I wanted you guys to see it for what it really is.
Right, they're not going to listen to you. They're just going to see your shiner.
You're going to see my shiner. You know, you could believe that story, or you could believe that Leah beats me,
or that she joined the MMA,
or that I joined the MMA, mixed martial arts. Michelle's MMA. Michelle's mixed martial arts. Okay, right. Now where are we going first? Let me get the dog.
Get the dog.
Come here, Jasper.
All right, so Christmas is Christmas Eve is a week away. Next Sunday. I just became aware of this morning. I was thinking that we had way more time before Christmas. We still have we have shopping to do for little people.
We have done no shopping. We have nothing. We are completely unprepared for Christmas. I don't have Christmas cards out yet.
This year has been one where mercantilism and commercialism doesn't really take the top shelf. Speaking of mercantilism and Christmas, the meaning of Christmas, celebrating the birth of Jesus, drove the mayor of Nazareth, the hometown where Jesus, little manger scene we got behind us, where Jesus was born. I guess after Trump decided to move the capital, the embassy. Sorry, I keep saying capital. The capital is already in Jerusalem for Israel. Okay?
We're not moving the capital.
Not moving it.
But
It's
people are
already there.
acting like we are.
I know.
You're moving the capital. No.
Just moving the embassy.
Calm down, people.
Well, the Muslim mayor there, ever using his religion of peace and welcoming of all religions, had decided to ban the Christmas from there. Now,
you can't ban Christmas from Nazareth. Like, it's set in stone there. It's impossible. You cannot do it.
So he actually had to go back on it, and it's now festivities are as normal. But I want to let you know what he did do. Mayor Ali Salman, who once made the curious boast that U.S. President Donald Trump learned everything from me about how to win elections, indicated that he was punishing local and visiting Christians as revenge for the president's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital Our message is we love Jerusalem. We will never abandon you under any circumstances. Our identity and faith aren't up for debate. The decision by Donald Trump has taken away the joy of the holiday.
I'm sorry.
For you, maybe.
I shouldn't laugh, but it's
You're
the
a
absurdity
Muslim.
of it.
That a Muslim would say that, it just took the joy out of Christmas for me.
Because as a Muslim, I love celebrating Christmas. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he took away the Christmas thing from the Muslims. Are you
And
serious
thus
right
will
now?
cancel the festivities as your son. Like, you're a mean one.
Mr. Grinch.
Salah Ali Salam.
You're a nasty, wasty. What's the next one?
I don't know.
That's right. Your heart is full of
Islam. And this video will be censored soon. Mr. Grinch. All right.
I wouldn't touch you with a 100-and-something 9-foot pole.
Yeah. So Nazareth is actually located within Israel, actually, rather than in Palestine, a territory. A majority of its inhabitants are Arabs with Israeli citizenship, and a little over 30% of the population are Christians. But they're dominated by a Muslim majority, which voted Salman into power. Nevertheless, the local administration had to walk back this aggressive position. At first, they said, well, there are commercial interests of the city.
So when it comes down to a bottom line and money,
because there's thousands of Christians,
then it matters.
hundreds of thousands of Christians who come there.
Then it matters. So you know what? Sometimes your political correctness gets trumped by money.
At first, he would allow the Christmas market and parade for money purposes, but no singing or outdoor plays.
No singing. We cannot allow singing. You want to know why? Because singing Christmas music is anointed. It's very powerful. And that's why that would be one thing that they would ban.
Yeah, so all over Europe, you have different reactions. We have seen the Polish Warsaw. I'm sorry.
We're working on her, guys.
Yeah, they have a beautiful Christmas
Warsaw.
market. They don't have any problems going. They don't have any problems there.
You mean they don't have any problems with Christmas in Poland?
No.
Shocking.
Do we have volume?
No, maybe. Should. Yes. I don't know. We didn't test it out first. I think so.
Not on. Anyways, this is Hungary. This is the Christmas market in Hungary where you can, where you can hear this good. You can hear carolers and no fears. Unlike in Germany, I'm going to show you a picture. Sorry.
Yeah, Germany, y'all people about to just lose Christmas altogether. I mean, seriously, they're not. They're
playing "O Come, O Come, Emmanuel."
And that's the song we just sang on Friday.
It's really pretty. Sorry, the Twitter videos. I wish I could make them play better, but they don't.
It's a conspiracy.
It is
Definitely.
Well, they play fine, but not when I make.
Redneck Sorrello says, "Why would anyone allow migrants to affect Christmas?"
Well, they do. They do all
because
over.
They want to get rid of everything good and wholesome and awesome. That's their goal.
Right.
I mean, seriously, this is the one. It is. They are the arm, like so many of our viewers say, of the Rothschilds and the globalists that literally want us living in some sort of all gray pantsuits, living in their weird Agenda 21 written by Glenn Beck. I mean, that's exactly what they want. That's their goal.
So I'm going to try to make this bigger again because it's hard to see. But this is the difference between Poland and Germany right now for Christmas. One has all these police and barriers. And one, you don't have to worry about anything. It's Christmas in Poland. No worries, no terror attacks. You've got to have, they literally in Germany have people going through chain link fences to get into Christmas markets and being patted down with security.
Gosh.
That's Germany, is a center for Christmas. When you think Christmas, you think Germany.
I do think German. Yeah, I do think Christmas when I think, I think Germany when I think of Christmas.
Well, not so much anymore.
We kind of got the Dutch houses and the...
I love the contrast there is it speaks a lot. It's not just about Christmas. It's about a cultural shift. And
well, B-Docs points out that I think that the Christmas tree has originated in Germany. I think you're correct about that.
Yeah, a lot of the Sinterklaas. Right. Let me see. There's make sure I want to.
Mark H says, I just saw a major security turnstiles, guards, and metal detectors to get into a Christmas celebration area.
Where?
I think Mark's in the United States, if I'm correct
But
about
where?
that.
That's kind of crazy. All right, so look at this. I hate, honestly, I really despise the multicultural art.
Yeah, I don't like it either. It's weird to me.
It's disturbing to look at. It doesn't feel like beautiful.
Well, and it's not just disturbing, but a lot of times the portrayals of humans turn them in almost into like goblins or like weird
Gumby?
morph.
Like, look
yeah,
at this,
like
like a
Gumby.
Gumby tree.
Exactly. Like a long face, kind of like it's like a mix between an Edgar Allan Poe poem and Monet. I mean, a painting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you get when you get the multiculturalism, like art.
You want to chop your ear off. Germany has replaced offensive Christmas trees with the diversity tree of multiculturalism.
I like what Shawnee Show says here. It's
repulsive.
madness. Why would any society allow a minority to dictate to a majority? It's so wrong.
Yeah, and do we go into other countries and demand that they stop celebrating
whatever they celebrate over there around the world?
So this is in Germany. I have some. There's a video. This one isn't it. I'm gonna try to bring them all up. You have a video where people are celebrating Christmas and like these Muslims are playing their like Allahu Akbar songs like to drown them out. But this is another one I think
So they're literally telling people you can't celebrate Christmas. We're in your country. And we don't want you celebrating the holiday that you have celebrated for thousands of years, or a couple thousand years, right? Since Jesus was born. It's absolutely ridiculous.
This is an army. Just to let everyone know.
But I mean, let's think about this for a second. I mean, I just seriously think about the fact that somebody has come into your country and is now telling your people that you can't celebrate a holiday.
Well, look at this one. Italian town actually removes a Christmas tree from the town hall for Muslims.
It's just like Sean said. Why are we catering to the minority that is, by the way, quickly becoming on its way to becoming a majority?
According to the European Post, a traditional Christmas tree in the city of Bolzano had to be removed before a visit of the Muslim Association. The reason giving it could hurt their feelings or offend them. And this is actually shows, because what you guys are telling me in the UK, that before there's like two waves, like the waves of feminism. There's Muslims who came and integrated, and then there's Muslims who've come to take over. Right? And from what you guys are telling me is that the first wave, Muslims all celebrate Christmas. Mm-hmm. It's the second wave Muslims that do not, that are like, super,
They're pushing an agenda, and what they're doing is they're blaming Trump's moving the embassy in Jerusalem.
Well, they've been upset about Christmas trees for.
But I'm just saying that's what they're using because the violence otherwise is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
But now it's like somehow they have an excuse, but it's not an excuse. But that's what they're using anyway.
Yeah, the city's town hall Christmas tree was decorated by the Association of Sports Veterans for the Athlete of the Year prize award ceremony. They also decorated the place with Christmas symbols, and with Christmas coming, they left them there. But a day afterwards, the president of the Sports Veterans Association received a phone call from the town hall office, and he asked to remove the Christmas tree and its decorations because the town hall would be visited by a Muslim association.
And it could hurt their feelings or offend them. End quote.
End quote. So, what do you guys think of that?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Redneck Survivalist says, nobody tells me what holidays I can celebrate. B-Doc says, the second wave Muslims are much greater in numbers. They are beginning to assert their dominance now. Edward Wallace says, there is a feminist plot to make people think that the majority of the people feel the same way they do. Comes from schools and universities all over. Minorities end up overrepresented. Well said.
So here's the music I had for you guys. The music I had for you. German Christmas market is disrupted by Palestinian protesters with loud Arabic music.
And you're going to make us listen to it?
Yeah, so yesterday evening, a new video was posted on a Facebook page of the local branch of Germany's populist AfD party. On the page, they say the video shows a Christmas market in a German town of Bad Doberen.
Jeeves says, let's learn from their mistakes and not repeat them.
While a man filmed secretly from his car, loud Arabic music is being heard, and a group of people are waving Palestinian flags.
Merry Christmas.
So we're going to play this here. It's audio.
That's Christmas music. It makes me feel Christmassy. I mean, you just see the Christmas lights, you hear that music, and all of a sudden you just think,
tree there. It's like,
you just feel so warm and fuzzy inside. And there's the flag.
They're trying not to be seen. The video.
I'm not videoing. No, I'm not.
I'm not doing nothing.
So Sean says his wife Tracy says if the Muslims are allowed to dictate and take away Christmas commercially, the country would shoot itself in the foot because of the money people would spend.
That's true. That's true. But they don't really. It doesn't really matter to them because on Friday we showed that Sweden is raising their age of retirement to bring in these Muslim migrants so the Muslim migrants can be on welfare.
Yes.
So they raise it to 69 years old. So these old people are being encouraged. What they're saying is actually you get to work longer.
We covered that on Friday.
That's how communism works, by the way.
Yeah. So Dr. Janice says, why are they here if they do not like the way we live? And that's the whole point. They don't want to conform. They want to take over. Their entire goal is, you know what I mean? Kind of like the taking over of the world.
Yeah, definitely. There was a letter, I don't know where I shared it. I think I shared it on my Twitter feed. I meant to bring it up. Where a Muslim woman tells the West, listen, Muslims are here to take over. That's what they're here to do. And it's this fine line between not all Muslims are this way, right? Mm-hmm. But you have this ideology that hasn't really produced a lot of peace in the Middle East.
Right.
So you look at Afghanistan and Pakistan, and my mind has been going over these all day long, especially the Pakistani men in Britain.
Right.
A story that just came out, a Bengali teenager was dating a 16-year-old Pakistani girl.
Okay.
And her father saw them together.
Okay.
And encouraged the young boy to get in his car. And then while he called associates, then they told the boy, give us your phone. And when he did, they saw pictures of the two together. And they beat him up. And they said, go be with your own blood. And it was said that women around were saying, kill him, kill him, kill him. And the Pakistani, some of the grooming gang leaders have even said white girls are only good for one thing. And then they say, some people have said that the Pakistani men don't do this in their own country, but they do. They kidnap Christian and Hindu girls. So there is something to culturally, the Pakistani men are more dangerous. And you can say that. Just like in Afghanistan, it's a cultural thing to have the little bacha boys or whatever.
Right.
So there's regional cultural tendencies.
Right.
Then there are tendencies that come out worse. In a human Islam. Can
I be really, really politically incorrect here? Because it's my show and I want to.
I don't know, they censor everything now.
Whatever. I can be politically. It's my television show. It's not a television show. It's my YouTube show. Whatever. Here's the thing. I'm reminded, I get really upset on my Facebook when people share things up against pit bulls. Because they're like, oh, pit bulls are awful and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, as a dog walker, I know it's not the dog.
Right.
Okay. It's how they were raised. They have the capability of really doing more damage than another dog. So that's the thing. The reason that a pit bull is more dangerous is because they have the capability of hurting more than another dog, like let's say a lab or something like that. Okay, so it's not the dog, it's how it was raised, but in addition to that, it does have a more it has more danger. Like a pit bull can really do that death grip and like not let go. And so I'm kind of thinking about these Muslims because of their culture. It's kind of like having that ability to have that death grip because it's already written in there. So no, not all Muslims are bad, just like not all pit bulls are bad. It's how you are raised and it's your capability with which to exercise these principles which are in the Quran and in their society, in their culture. So that's kind of the difference. So I'm not comparing Muslims to dogs, but I kind of just did, not on purpose. But it was a good analogy in my head.
A Muslim to a dog, man.
But they don't like dogs, so it also makes it even. I just think I had two
really
for one
worse.
there.
But this article goes along with that. The title is a little bit confusing here. I'm going to retitle this. Islamic schools have extreme ideology in them. I don't know. But the title of this is Intimidation by a Mixture of Islamic Extremists and Hard Left. School inspectors called racist pedophiles, meaning the teachers, in order to get in order to intimidate the school inspectors, called them racist pedophiles. So these inspectors were going into these schools,
okay,
in the UK, these like illegal religious schools or whatever,
okay,
and they found a bunch of extremist literature. So it says, extremists have tried to intimidate Britain's schools watchdog over its crackdown on unregistered Muslim schools, where the inspectors are called Britain First pedophiles. So this one woman, Amanda Spielman, revealed that inspectors at one of the regulators' regional offices have been forced to take additional security measures. This one woman says, "Listen, I'm not a lightweight. I can take things," but she's getting threats to her personage. The chief inspector of schools accused a mixture of Islamic extremists and the hard left of using threats to intimidate to halt Ofsted's attempt to crack down on hardline elements of Islam in schools in England and Wales. She says, I had an email, which was the most threatening one, which were along the lines of, we know where you live and we can get to you anytime we want to. So when you have that you know there's more than one.
Mafia.
This is a culture.
I mean, they might as well be have like a cigar and like the fedora. So
I guess they got really upset when the court ruled that girls and boys couldn't be segregated. And this woman says, I'm not easily bruised. I don't fall over when I see a load of nasty tweets. But this is pretty venomous stuff. And these quote unquote, they're calling them as illegal faith schools. And I think that is very disingenuous. Because the Sikhs, the Hindus, or even Buddhists having schools, doing yoga or something, you're not going to have a problem. Same. You might bend over too much and not be able to get back up, but that's about it. But it says that during a visit to a Muslim independent school, remember, the problem is not that they're religious. The problem is that they are, they have an ideology and a way of life that is not...
Well, and they're creating little soldiers. They're a Trojan horse.
Yeah, the head teacher phoned parents to tell them the inspectors were asking their children if they were gay, telling the Ofsted staff that angry parents were lining up outside the school. He asked inspectors whether they really wanted to proceed. Do you really want to go in here? And they found books encouraging domestic violence, marital rape for children, by the way.
For children.
Islamic supremacism. And
you got to shut down that school instantaneously. It just has to go down.
My favorite line is, it was found that sexist homework assignments were being marked approvingly.
Wow.
Okay.
Patriot Gallery.
This is really a good thing, because for years they've been taking down Christmas nativity scenes in public areas. They've been taking down the Ten Commandments in public areas and saying religion can't have anything to do with government. But people are seeing how good Christianity is.
Right.
And the laws that Christians bring, because Christians can't be in government, make laws according to the Bible, but the laws that Christians bring are good, and they bring freedom, and they bring life. So this is actually a very good thing, so people can see the difference between Poland, who has Christmas, and Germany that is being torn apart. You can see the difference between good and bad. And there's a scripture, this is prophecy being fulfilled. You will again see the difference between the good and the bad,
right,
in Malachi.
Well, and to sum it up, everybody knows this, that in the dark, the light shines the brightest. And because this is so dark, then the light is shining a lot brighter. And I think that like Patriot Gallery said, that's a really good thing. So what do you got next?
So what I'm playing here in the background is while we're talking about gender stereotyping in the Muslim
Did you
world,
say gendo?
Gender.
You said it sounded like you said
Genders.
gendo. You like coined a new thing.
What is
gendo.
hilarious is that the UK, it's like a teeter-totter. When you see something go so far in the one direction,
It has to go back the other
then
direction.
you're going back in the other direction, but it really throws people off, and it's really weird because you see the leftists doing crazy things, and you see things like Hillary Clinton not conceding the election. Anytime somebody doesn't concede an election, you're going to say they're pulling a Hillary Clinton, or
Right, like Roy Moore.
Exactly. Or anytime you see somebody being called out for sexual harassment, it's like it waters everything down. So what they've done is in the UK, they're going to ban gender stereotype ads. However, most ads are gender stereotyped because
You got to be able to market the feminine napkins to the ladies, okay? Because if you take out the gendo, now I go to the gendo. I like that, the gender stereotype from that. I mean, it just seems. Are you gonna have men on those ads?
So I guess there are some controversial ads. This portrayed girls as ballerinas and boys as engineers. So that's pretty bad. Ads will be banned for showing only a woman cleaning or suggesting that it's wrong for girls to engage in an activity.
But no
because
ads
it's
do that.
stereotypically associated with boys.
But they often show girls lifting weights.
The current standards prohibit ads that objectify or sexualize women.
Well, that I agree with.
That's probably pretty bad. But this would be the first ban on gender stereotypes. Kids under 8 are psychologically defenseless against advertisers, and which makes them more likely to accept advertising claims at face value. The new rules will go into effect in the UK in 2018.
That's kind of depressing.
You won't see
Because-
women cleaning anymore.
So it's always going to be the men cleaning, and then it's going to become a paradigm shift.
So all little boys think I'm supposed to clean, and women are.
As a woman, I'm not married, but I could see how that might be appealing for some women to have men. No, I mean, come on, this is so ridiculous. All right, we're human beings. Everybody knows that the little girl can wear the superhero costume just like the little boy, okay? It's just we more often than not put the little boy in the superhero costume because it's more often than not. We had a good friend of ours whose little girl, from the time she was 2, was obsessed with Spider-Man, and she was constantly posting her child in these little superhero costumes. Little girls, absolutely adorable little girl. There was nothing wrong with her. She just liked the superheroes. But to say that we have to actually control from a legal standpoint, that's where I draw the line. So let's say a company, and they already do this, wants to show, their ungendered
moms
stereotyping.
who know
whatever.
best choose Jif.
So now it's going to be
Remember
dads who know best.
Or
or parents.
I was watching this on the 5 on Fox, and they were saying that, we have gone through evolution. Men used to have a certain role, women used to have a certain role, but now we don't really need the gender roles. I get it.
No.
But,
Here comes the Patriot Gallery. Nope.
it's funny to me. It's funny to me. One of the people on the 5 said, "So in 30 years from now, will we just have one unigender?"
Yeah. Patriot Gallery.
Ritz comment. More young people in church today. It's not a church full of old people.
Let me go back and see if I can see it. How far ago was it? I just made that up. Far ago. How far ago? Was it more recent?
I don't know the time difference between you and I.
All right, no, okay. Hey, girls, I saw the biggest following of children and young parents going to a church service today. Usually in the UK, we see a few older people and pensioners going to church. That is good news.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because here's the thing. Michelle, we're not going to go into this, but Michelle came across a horrible Japanese mainstream TV show.
We are not going to go into what it was a game show, and I got to tell you, there's something wrong with the Japanese. And I was talking to Horatio, and he's here. I just saw him comment about this, and he said something really awesome. When you have societies that are suppressed, okay, this is why you see a lot of imams, and no offense, Catholic priests that commit a lot of pedophilia. It's because they are suppressed. And in Japan, I think this has to be an answer. They are some sort of weird suppressed society, and it kind of seeps out in some sort of weird explosion of I don't know.
Horatio isn't going to like my answer, actually.
That's all right. All answers are good.
My answer is going to be traditionally Japanese and Chinese have not had God.
That's true.
And
that was my thinking
without
too.
the light of God to light on your heart, then you're not going to flow right. I mean, Japanese culture is different than Western culture. That's why it's East and West. So,
well, you see it in the anime a lot. It's very perverted. The men have to have the sex dolls.
Well, I'm talking about historically.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we're seeing that's
Japanese culture. Women were told to, you know, just like in Islam, you shut up, you're quiet, you sit to the side.
Right.
This is what you do. And then we know. I mean, we've seen many cultures where Asian women are very quiet. Not so much in the West, you know, where women speak. I mean, you've got, you know, Catherine the Great. I mean, even, you know, in the West, Christianity, in my opinion, gave rise to great women, to the equality of genders.
Right.
When you read the New Testament, there is a beautiful balance and equality of genders. I mean, even Paul traveled around with women, and Jesus traveled around with women. The first the first evangelicals, the first evangelists were women, the women at the tomb, right?
Right.
And so Christ was all about gender equality, but differences.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, this is just funny to me that the UK would have to ban ads like, oh, here comes mom with a tray of food, because that you can't have, you know, super mom and dad, because that actually is a thing that really happens.
Well, I don't know. We were in the car yesterday. Kansas was driving, and I was playing a video on my cell phone, and I'm giggling, and he's like getting a little bit distracted, even though I'm in the back of the van. But just by saying something or laughing, he was just getting a little bit distracted. And so, what did you say?
Yeah, so I guess when, you know, in the 90s, there was a book or whatever, 80s, 90s, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Just people knew that there was different ways that men's brains are wired and different ways that women's brains are actually wired.
Right.
Women are, you know, when you get down to science, this is what it boggles my mind. When you scientifically break things down,
right,
men and women are different. And so women tend to be able to multitask better than men. Men focus more on one issue. Not that all men don't like to window shop, but you know, most of the time. See, this is a gender stereotype,
right?
And people in the comments will say, "Well, that's not me." No. This is like the most of the time.
Yeah.
In general, guys go in.
I don't know. I think our viewers are smart enough to understand the differences between boys and girls.
Guys go in.
Women are just
to
different.
The grocery store. They have a list.
Right.
They want to go in when they got, and they come back out.
Right.
Whereas women tend to.
They want to shop. They want to look at the ads. They want to see what's on sale. They want to check the clearance rack.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying that it can't be either or.
Right.
There's not some crossover there. But in general, men are more, you know, single-minded.
Right.
And women tend to have 500 different things going on in their brain at one time, trying to do 100 different things.
Right.
So it's just a difference is in minds and in sets, and that's what the communist
it's the
mentality
beauty of it, I think.
Right. Well, the communist mentality wants to take beauty out of life.
Right.
They take beauty out of art, and they create multicultural Christmas trees. They take beauty out of the relationships between a man and a woman, and a marriage and children. The whole Communist Manifesto is about destroying a man having property, and being king of his home, and wife being queen of his home. They want this giant collective, where you've got Animal Farm, where a few of the people tell everybody else what to do, and you don't have this relationship with your children anymore either. In communist, and so you have this culture. When we talk about cultural Marxism, you have these things that
they attack culture, and that's how. And it's the breakdown, the control, the political correctness is the epitome of cultural Marxism for people that need to understand that.
In the UK, especially, and in Europe and generally, as cultural Marxism and socialism and the effects of communism have taken over, where you don't have a man as a breadwinner anymore. I know that from what I've heard from you guys, that one person can't afford to be the sole breadwinner. That you physically cannot afford to own a home and have the basic necessities on a dad's income. Right. And this is what you get when you want your socialized medicine.
Right.
Okay.
You get a socialized conglomerate of society where men aren't men, women aren't women. And in Japan, particularly, they don't need each other anymore.
No, in Japan, and I was just looking this up today just because I was wondering a little bit, like, what is going on in Japan? So I read a couple little articles that made me want to puke. But literally, over like 50 to 70% of the young people who aren't dating are virgins. They just don't have sexual relations, real sex, but they do have this perverse sexuality, right, where they have like sex bars with sex toys. You can go in and use somebody else's sex toy.
That's
like,
disgusting.
It's just really weird. But this is a society that has lost the nuances of life.
Right. And it's sad. Like,
it's very sad.
Okay, so let me tell them a little bit. So I know they like to hear personal stories. So last night, after I had told Leah about this, and actually Mark is in the chat, the person that was in my Facebook feed, who had shared it. I don't share stuff like that again, man. I can't. That's in my feed. I'm not gonna like hide you. I can't unseen what I've seen. Okay. So I had told Leah about it, and then my uncle had White Christmas on, and y'all know the song where it says, "If by chance our cheeks should meet while dancing." And so I'm singing that song as I'm getting into bed, and my room is kind of connected to Leah's, so she could hear me. And she all of a sudden yells out, and she's like, "And what happened to your cheeks meeting?" Like, you know, just a touch, like, and then you have goosebumps from your head to your toes, and if our cheeks should meet. And she's like, "How do we go from that to?" And then she just says whatever, you know, the thing happened. And I was like, I said, she's like, "What happened to just normal relations?" And I was like, "Yeah, when people just used to sleep together." And she's like, "Yeah, how come nobody just has regular sex anymore?" or something. And it was just so funny, but it's not funny. It's depressing and sad that these people don't have that. Your cheeks should meet in the goosebumps.
There's
and
no
the lightning. There's
romance
nothing left.
And it's just, you're a single person by yourself. That's why Japan is like the hotbed for all sex robots. You know, where you're just by yourself.
It's sad because that encounter in and of itself is more like just taking a drug. They're all drug addicts.
They're drug addicts, exactly.
Instead of having this deep fulfillment that you get from being in a relationship with
give
somebody.
And take.
And self-sacrifice.
Exactly.
I got to tell you guys something. I'm not even married, but as a human being, I understand that relationships all start with, what can I do for you?
Right.
How can I be a blessing to you?
Right.
And if you're that way to me and I'm that way to you, then life is happy.
Right.
Because it's a give and take, and they don't have that. Horatio had said earlier that the Emperor of Japan was literally a god until the surrender at the end of the Second World War. So keep that in mind for how weird their society is.
All right, so on to some more UK news.
Now that we did all that, that was fun.
I know this is going to throw you out. I'm going to get your minds out of the gutter there. Tony Blair seeks to return to politics, aims to tackle Brexit. His goal is to literally stop Brexit, to overturn Brexit.
Of course.
Not only did he join with our Bushy Meister to destroy the entire planet.
For those of you in the UK that aren't aware, just from a personal American standpoint, when I was a kid, I mean, Tony Blair was so cool. Like, they made him out to be like, Tony Blair was awesome. He was such a cool guy. Like, he could do no wrong. He had the best interest of Britain.
He and George Bush were just
at heart.
Pals.
This was the propaganda machine that we were fed here in the United States.
Yes, during an interview with The Guardian, Blair described Brexit as an extraordinary thing to do and a decision to regulate ourselves as a country. And if you think it's the most important decision this country has taken in living memory, then even if you think there's only a small chance of it being changed, if you think that's the right thing to do, you should be arguing for it. So I'd like to see a Labour government in power, but I think the key national priority now is stopping Brexit. I would put it above everything else right now for the country. He also admitted that many people may be initially reluctant to listen to him due to his reputation.
Oh, really? You think so, Tony?
But instead, that this is such a serious moment in the country that it's your obligation to go out and state the argument.
Nobody wants to listen to you, man.
There will be some people who literally refuse to listen to you because it's you. But my experience with people most of the time is that if you're making a reasonable argument, like there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and we must destroy everything, bomb everything, they'll listen to you on that argument, even if they disagree on other things like bombing everything and starting this terrible war in the Middle East, stirring up this nest of hornets who now are flooding the entire world. Leave the hornets where they are. Let them sting each other.
Oh my gosh.
Don't mess with them.
He's so arrogant. Like, he's like, I realize that there are people that are not going to listen to you just because it's you. Yeah. Just end it there. There are a lot of people, Tony, that are not going to listen to you just because it's you.
There's people who are going to have some comments on this one.
Yes, they are. Let's see. Blair justified Bush. Blair was as evil as Bush in real life. Mark H says Tony Blair was in on globalism wars in the Middle East. Britt Baza says, imagine Tony Blair with a couple of horns on his head and a trident. John Daniel says, come on, Tony, come back to politics. There'll be even more people for Brexit. I like that. Bring Tony Blair back, and everybody's going to be like, okay, Brexit. Gotta get out of here, man. Oh my God.
Can't breathe in this room.
Tony Blair's back. Get out of the EU.
So this one is funny to me. I guess you guys know that because you're giving away a lot of free money there in Europe and in the UK. I mean, we do here too. But this is EU news. This Somalian refugee pocketed about £39,000 in benefits after he secretly returned to his homeland because he missed the sunshine. So he left his country of Somalia because he didn't feel safe there. He was in danger. But once he got, on the payroll, he gave his apartment, his free rent to somebody else to live there for free. Okay. And he got his payments sent to Somalia.
Really?
Yeah.
£39,000.
He also forged an immigration stamp on his British passport and had a pension credit payment sent to him for 2.5 years. And the council funded this person's home.
How does that slip through the cracks?
Well, I think he's 72 years old, and he's going to go to jail. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of dishonestly failing to notify a change of circumstances. It says, incredibly, his name is Kumal, continued to receive benefits minus a £44 a week deduction to compensate the department for work while his case was pending. At that rate, it would take 17 years to repay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So instead, he's just going to go and live off the government in prison, I guess. So he left the UK on an open ticket and did not return. And he gave the keys to his privately rented flat to a third party who lived there while he was abroad. Faux free. Faux free.
So to get back to the Blair comments here, let's see. John says Blair out, Nigel in. Jesse says Bush and Blair for jail. Blair only got into power because the Tories had a weak leader at the time, says Sean. Worth a Look says Blair always wanted to head the European Union. He sucked up to them for a long time.
Poor chap.
Let me see. Martin says the Blairs are helping run Albania, apparently. Hadn't heard that. That's interesting. I have no idea. So I wanted to get to a couple of your guys' comments.
All right, so on to some spy news. Brexit espionage. The EU is deploying Cold War. I can't even spit it out.
Cold War.
Spy tactics against the UK as rooms are bugged. The European Union has been deploying Cold War espionage tactics against Britain as rooms are bugged, an intelligence source has claimed. The unnamed insider warned that nothing was off limits as the EU is deploying every known espionage tactic. They said they have incidents of files going missing and of email accounts and mobile phones being hacked. There's a possibility that rooms may be bugged or conversations between British officials are being listened to on using long-range microphones. So,
you're shaking the camera, man.
This is like using honey trap things to trap, politicians and things like that. So the insider also revealed that the devious plot is targeting civil servants, advisors, and government ministers in the bitter bloc and Britain. They went on. The French work very closely with the UK on counter-terrorist operations, but the gloves are off as far as Brexit is concerned.
The gloves are off.
Earlier this year, David Davis was photographed carrying what appeared to be a silver Faraday briefcase with blocks of wireless cellular GPS and Wi-Fi signals. A friend of the Brexit secretary who served as a former Special Forces soldier disclosed the special arrangements to the Telegraph. The briefcase is said to be based on the Faraday cage, a secure box invented by the English scientist Michael Faraday. In 1846 to block electromagnetic fields. Mr. Davis has also reportedly swapped his Apple Watch for a Garmin timepiece amid fears foreign spies could activate the microphone on the device and listen to the meetings.
And they could.
Despite the shocking claims from the intelligence insider, Theresa May recently assured the Britons that the UK will leave the EU. In an exclusive article written on the Express UK, Prime Minister clarified that she is looking ahead with optimism. As we secure a smooth and orderly Brexit while taking back control of our borders, money and laws once again. You know, it's hard to listen to her anymore. You know, it's just kind of sad. What is I have a Nigel thing here. What did I say? Oh, this was fun. So, in some happy news, he says,
I saw that earlier.
Bumped into some chaps today who wanted to take pictures.
With the police.
Yes, that's
good on Nige.
Nice.
I like that there's police officers. Look at the smile on that guy's face. He's talking to Nigel Farage. How can you not be happy?
They look.
Oh my gosh.
They look like they're happy.
It's absolutely awesome.
That's fun. Okay, so moving on to Merkel and Macron. Back the EU sanctions against Poland. I mean, we've been talking about this for days. We have to bring you updates all the time. French President Emmanuel Macron and Germany's struggling Angela Merkel have both expressed their support for Brussels to take action in form of sanctions against Poland if they feel it necessary, which they obviously do. The incredibly creepy declaration comes after the Polish government has repeatedly refused to do as Brussels demands on issues such as limiting their own domestic internal reforms, on the judiciary, meaning kicking out the commies, and rejecting EU migrant quotas. The EU is now pushing towards invoking Article 7. Macron says, I will support the initiatives taken by the European Commission every time it defends the rule of law, me and my mummy wife. Merkel says she much of the same, though she hoped discussions between Polish and Brussels would stop action being taken. Unlikely. So yes, Poland's government is riding high, doing well. Who else stands with Eastern Europe? Well, Geert Wilders and
with the hair, man. God, I love that hair.
Wilders. And Marine Le Pen. They met in a group they spoke at a Congress, a get-together in the Czech Republic this week. And Wilders and Le Pen were invited to the country's capital. And the politicians spoke about several important subjects, including the European Union and Islamization of Europe. Wilders said in a speech in Prague, and I wanted to find a video of it. I don't have it. But this is what he says. He says, Brussels is suing you. The cosmopolitan elites are suing the Czech Republic, Poland, and Hungary because they want your country to be Islamized in the same way as Western Europe. That is a scandal, but you are not alone. I stand with you. All of our friends here stand with you. We want the same thing as you. We want to remain the masters of our own house. The Dutch politician also suggested Trump-style immigration measures to stop the replacement of Europe's people. He said, we must have the courage to introduce travel bans as President Trump has done in the U.S. We must have the courage to send every boat with illegal migrants back, as Australia is doing. And we must have the courage to restrict illegal immigration instead of expanding it, even if it sometimes means building a wall. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but there is a whole thing of his speech here. And you can listen to it if you want to. I think it's great to see these people come together.
So our resident comedian, Sean says that Merkel has a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp. I took a minute and I let myself envision that, and I think it's spot on.
Yeah, why? I don't understand how. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. So
here's the thing. Hang on, because you just brought up Geert Wilders and Marine Le Pen.
Yeah.
And we covered them so heavily earlier this year. And I think it brought us a lot of viewers to Resistance Chicks. And so it was kind of depressing when they both lost.
Yep.
And so I want you guys to be encouraged that I don't think this is by far the last we have heard from them. I think it's this underlying rumbling that these people are not done in their countries. And so I think there's a lot more that we can expect to see from them moving forward. And it makes me really excited that they are not lying down. We may not be hearing from it because it's not in the mainstream media, but they are not giving up.
Right.
Which is really, really exciting.
So, this is a different article on the same meeting with Le Pen and Wilders. So, I think this is from her. Let's see. Earlier in the day, the conference of anti-immigration parties of Europe took place in the Czech capital. It was attended by Le Pen, among others. The European Union. Let's see. This is Lorenzo Fontana, I believe, from the Italy's Lega Nord party. I think the European Union is losing its breath. I hope that we will overthrow the European Union from within. No, this is Le Pen. She says overthrow from within. We must behave like conquerors.
I love that.
European nations must free themselves from the chains of the European Union.
Yes.
That's what Le Pen said.
Love it.
Yeah.
Worth a Look says they lost, but the movement is still growing for them both.
Yeah, they have to, open up in the minds and the hearts of the French and even the people in the Netherlands to the idea of being your own person again, and it becomes
your own country.
You become lazy, right? The European Union, unfortunately, when you bring in socialism, it brings in blase, fair. You're just going to kind of whatever comes my way.
You start trusting the state.
You become
with everything, including remaining in the European Union or something like that.
So we all have to wake up and we all have to take responsibility for our own lives every single day. No one is responsible for me. I am responsible for me.
Right.
My government, and this is the idea that our founding fathers put forth. This is totally on the other side, the other spectrum of socialism and communism. Right. My founding fathers set up a government based on English principles, by the way. And actually, the French actually had this idea, but then the commies took over and the socialists and things like that.
Well, they had a little revolution in there and it just kind of went south.
Right. The idea that I'm responsible for myself. Every day, I'm responsible for my own water. I'm responsible for my own food. I'm responsible for my own clothes.
Where does this thought process come in that somebody else is responsible to do that for you? I don't understand.
I am responsible, but Christian societies come together to care for one another in times of need or desperation or emergencies.
That's different. You're responsible, but then when you're down on your luck, then a community comes together, but it's not this forced thing. It's voluntary.
And when you do it in a community, then you know whether somebody really has a need or not.
But on a small level, like a macro level.
Right, exactly, one-on-one. When the government gets involved, they take a huge chunk of it.
Right.
But my point is that my government was set up and designed to secure my freedom to be able to pursue life. That's what the pursuit of happiness is about, right? So I should be free from criminals coming in and taking my things.
Right.
I should be free from government intrusion telling me I can't build my home the way I want to, which I should be. Our founding fathers are rolling over their graves that there are building regulations for people building their own houses, which is not
in Kentucky,
not countrywide. Which I always bring this up because people in Kentucky, their houses aren't falling over. But in most of the counties that I know that I've talked to, people are building homes without regulations. There's one regulation: you have to have a certain $500 septic, but that's about it.
And then they come and inspect your electrical,
which happens somebody built a house with no windows on accident, and and it's just things like that. But
on accident.
Yeah, I remember the guy told us, and he wished he had done his plans a little better after he built the house. But
cut
still,
the windows in after.
You should be able to literally cut down some logs and build yourself a home.
Right.
I mean, that's what America is built upon.
Right. Our hay guy has a barn that's 120 years old, and I was in it the other day, and I mean, we're talking the floorboard, the beams are literally just trees that are sawed at the top and at the bottom to kind of make them semi-flat. Mm-hmm. And this thing is gigantic. I mean, it's the size of 7 of our houses. You know what I mean? It's just so huge. And I'm looking at this thing, and it's kind of at 120 years old. It's starting to kind of...
I don't like being in that bottom.
But, I mean, nowadays, you would never be able to build a barn like that.
No.
Ever. And it's but that thing has stood for 120 years. So you telling me they needed those permits? All right, we're getting off on a rabbit trail.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry. Personal freedom is a personal thing of ours.
Well, and you guys have it way less than even we do, which is why our hearts go out to our European and UK family.
In Germany, they do tend to try to do some stuff to try to band-aid. This is a band-aid. Ready?
Okay.
Muslim migrants are warned in Germany, reject anti-Semitism and learn about the Holocaust.
Okay.
So, because Muslim refugees are arriving in Germany, go figure, hating Jews.
Surprise.
And from the Middle East have been told to abandon their anti-Semitism and prepare to learn about the Holocaust in twin warnings issued from the highest levels of government. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier said inbound immigrants must reject any lingering notions of anti-Semitism on arrival, saying acceptance of followers of the Jewish faith remains non-negotiable. The fact that you have to say this, you don't get to come to the country.
Right.
You don't get to come. That's one of those things. What's on the list? You're gone. Goodbye. So he spoke as the government announced that it was ready to consider the idea of an anti-Semitism commissioner. If there's any country in the entire world where you can't come in if you're anti-Semitic, it's Germany.
Yeah, because they kind of feel a little bit bad.
Yeah, there's just,
too many bad memories there.
Yeah. There are things which are part of Germany, and one of these is our responsibility for our past and the lessons of World War II and the lessons of the Holocaust and things like that. It's mind-boggling that they let in all these Muslims who are totally anti-Jewish.
Right.
But it's Germany. But it's not mind-boggling because
it kind of goes along with it, doesn't it?
You know, it's a band-aid.
Bit. So Paul UK says, Faraz showed me what the EU was 5 years ago. Before that, I thought it was just like being in NATO. How wrong was I?
And that's all part of the education, because most people don't know that it's not just about just being able to move freely about and trade freely. It's supposed to all the positive things, but that's like the whole Pinocchio syndrome. Like all these positive things and nothing negative about having this giant control of people. Like when you hand over control of your life to somebody, you better hope that they have your best interests at heart.
And then what happens when this EU army goes into effect, where they literally have troops from every nation to this one army, and those troops answer to the EU instead of your own country, and they have literally taken over. I mean, that's the last, stop right there.
So they have to obviously pay for lessons for them not to, think Jews are bad. I don't know.
So I'm going to answer this question right now, and then I'll do so at the end of the show because Sean just put it forward and I don't want to forget. He wants to know, are you ladies doing shows on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve the next 2 Sundays? I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do it on New Year's Eve for sure.
But I don't know. We don't know. We don't have plans set, so we might not.
On New Year's Eve?
No, next.
I said for sure on New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason why we won't go live on New Year's Eve in the afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Next week, I don't think so.
This coming Sunday,
we don't know.
We have no idea because we have family that we usually let them cater, or we cater to them because they are the ones that have 800 families they have to go to, and we're kind of flexible. So I will issue a video letting you guys know, and we'll tell you on Friday for sure. I think we can tell you by Friday.
But thanks for asking. Yeah.
Good question. So, I would love to be able to go live on New Year's Eve. On Christmas Eve. We'll just have to see.
Replacement migration. Italian town with 100 inhabitants houses 113 migrants. Huh? There are now more migrants than permanent residents in an Italian town of Scorvone del Gambara. The tiny town, which is part of the municipality of Gambara, usually had only 100 inhabitants, but things had changed. According to the regional security counselor, Simona Bordanelli, the government, the leftist mayor, and immigration professionals created something like a disaster. For years, the town's migrant guests stayed at the town's former restaurant, which had a maximum capacity of 90 people. But the government pushed their agenda, and the number of people is now in town are now 113. The migrants are from Bangladesh, Ivory Coast, and other African countries. Their presence is heavily criticized by the local representative of Italy's...
The poor Italianos. My heart breaks for you. Mi amore.
Simone Zanetti says the whole municipality should only host about 12 migrants, but the leftist mayor is to blame. This is not the first town in Italy with more migrants than permanent inhabitants. The town of Vaccarosi di Urbazzo has only 7 inhabitants and could receive up to 80 migrants. So
that's so sad.
The idea of traveling to Europe right now is not on the top of my list.
I mean, we've told this to our viewers before.
What are you doing?
Where's the I guess these will work. This will work. We still have these left over from the eclipse. I wanted the cute ones. We used to dream of going to Italy. I had an intense desire to go when I was a teenager. I wanted to go visit Venice. And so Leah, being the amazing supporting big sister that she is and incredibly intelligent, decided that we were going to learn Italian as a family. And one of the only things that I took away from it was Occhiali dei Sole. These are the Soleil, glasses of the sun. These are from the eclipse. These are not 3D glasses. But I have this love for Italy ever since. I mean, they're like in my blood. I've never been there. They're not in my blood. But my heart breaks because now you can't go to Italy. The only reason I want to go to Italy is because I want to experience the Italiano. I want to go to see the vineyards. But no, you're going to go and you're just going to get like migrants. It's not going to be Italy anymore. And everybody is losing their culture. Stop it. Making me sad as a human in the world. I mean, you get it. You come to America, all you're going to get are Americans. We speak American in America. Okay? We don't really have too much. I mean, besides root beer floats that y'all need to have. I'm doing an episode. We're going to do an episode covering some stuff y'all need to be in on. You got baseball, kind of Americana stuff. But, I mean, really, these cultures are so rich. So deep, the history, and it's just poof, it's gone. They're making me so sad. They're making me want to go die. Oh yeah, what do you got next?
Okay, so I'm kind of going to sum some of these up. Nigel Farage told Sky News that there is a genuine hardening against being part of a militarized United States of Europe, and that if the establishment fudge Brexit and maintain open borders, there could be one more great big European battle to be fought. Speaking on Sky News, Farage says, if we finish up without any proper controlled borders bound to single market rules, which means we're not able... You know what? I'm going to play him. Right.
What do you think the consequences would be if there is a final Brexit deal, but that it doesn't result in less immigration from the European Union?
Well, if we finish up without proper control of our borders, bound to single market rules, which means we're not able to set our own rules for our own industries, if that kind of Norway-type status, which certainly Keir Starmer from Labour now appears to want, if that's where we finish up, then I think there may well be one more great big European battle to be fought. Whilst the Remainers and the political class have gained in confidence all through this year and you know, doing their bit, defeating the government in the Commons, and all of these things, I think what's really interesting is what's happening to public opinion. And all I see is a genuine hardening, not just around Brexit, but a genuine desire not to be part of a European Union that wants to militarize and is being more open than ever about becoming a United States of Europe.
There he goes. That's Mr. Nigel Farage.
Lovely. Love that man.
Oh, so you want to talk about the Britain being arrested?
I just wanted to, I mean, for our American viewers that don't know, but I'm not sure who to go to because everybody's going to be like slanted. I mean, the BBC has it, but...
Well, you could just tell them what happened. I mean,
Paul Golding was arrested.
Well, it's just it's hard to follow because, as Jada would say, they're always being arrested for just saying any. And
that's the thing. I'm just going to read the BBC article. It's obviously slanted, but it says Jada Franson, 31, of Anerley, Southeast London, was in court over 2 charges relating to behavior intended to or likely to stir up hatred. Her lawyer told the court that she intended to plead not guilty. Britain First leader Paul Golding, 35, was also arrested outside the courtroom before the hearing. Mr. Golding was accompanying Ms. Franson to the hearing. The police confirmed they have arrested a 35-year-old man as a part of their investigation into the Northern Ireland Against Terrorism rally in August. It is believed Ms. Franson has been rearrested over social media posts she made from a peace wall in Belfast on Wednesday. Peace walls are used to separate Catholic and Protestant residents in areas where tension between the two communities can run high. So my opinion is that they are really just grasping at straws. They've kind of, not even that, they've gotten a foothold and now they're trying to take the whole thing. Mm-hmm. They're arresting Paul Golding for no reason whatsoever. Mark H. says, wasn't Jada's case dismissed? It was not dismissed. However, she was let go on her own recognizance.
Right.
Um,
She had a video that came out earlier. I was trying to find it. But, you know, she said in her video, you know, they become a political group, and, you know, they've become hardened in their stance, because the more that you study Islam and the negative effects of it, it's really dangerous, and it's an ideology. I mean, when you have over 1,000 British girls brought into that grooming gang, 1,000.
If it doesn't make you angry enough to want to wipe them all out, I don't think you're human. I mean, I have to tell you, like, and I understand it's not, like we were talking about earlier, it's not all pit bulls, it's not all Muslims. However, it is their ideology, and they do have a political ideology, and it's kind of like this, guys.
Right.
It is a cancer. It is kind of like a dangerous disease that is that can be just contracted easily, and so you have to quarantine it.
Here's a
and that's why I get it.
I'm over in Northern Ireland. I'm in court today for a speech that I gave on the 6th of August, which the PS and I came over to London, arrested me, brought me to Belfast. I've been charged with some nonsense charge. Basically, I criticised Islam, and now they want to send me to prison for 2 years. I've been out in Belfast for the last few days. You may have seen some of the updates. Paul Golding and Andrew Edge flew out today to support me in the court, and Paul Golding has just been arrested by the PSNI. Same trumped up charges, we believe, or allegations, as they lifted me for. And we've just been into court for my first appearance, my hearing, and they have applied for bail conditions which basically state I am not allowed to speak in public, and I'm not allowed to use social media at all. So this is a very quick video, because it might be my last for a while that I'm allowed to post on social media. What the hell is going on? There is no free speech. They're literally trying to restrict me from speaking to you guys over video or in public. I'm a politician. This is our bloody country. If I want to criticise something, I should be free to do so. I get criticised by Theresa May, by Amber Rudd, by Boris Johnson, by Sadiq Khan on a daily basis. They've called me all sorts of names since Donald Trump retweeted me. You don't see me running to the police and crying. This is turning into an absolute police state, and it needs to stop. So this very quick video is to just say, if I don't see you for a while, it's because I'm not allowed, but hopefully I can update you shortly. God bless.
Here's the thing. She hit on such a valid point. The reason why she's being arrested is not because she has made threats to anyone. It's not because she has committed violence to anyone. It's because she has offended people. And here we have even Boris Johnson, who I do like. We've got Theresa May. We've got Sadiq Khan. We have the entire world, but specifically those that are in the UK, saying horrible, horrible, offensive things about Jada. And she said it just rolls right off her back. I'm sure it does affect her, but you know what I mean. She's not going to the police. She's not saying they have offended me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this absolutely is a double standard, and they are putting her out on display to say, if anybody else tries this, this will happen to you. They're trying to, it's a fear tactic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I might not agree with everything she says. I don't agree with everything everybody says.
Right.
But I will
defend your right
to say it.
Right.
I'm going to even defend the KKK the right to say it. I'm going to defend Christian bashers the right to say that they want to say. I mean, if you can't criticize in a religion, I mean, what do atheists say? That the idea that the Bolsheviks were able to take over communism was that they shut down any freedom of speech whatsoever. They said, this is what you're going to say, this is what you're going to believe.
Patriot
shut
Gallery
everything down.
Puts a really good point here. She says, and that's our mother, for those of you that don't know, I am offended every time I hear the F-bomb. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Mm-hmm. I am offended every time I hear the F-bomb. I'm offended every time I read a curse word. But you know what? I just set it to the side. I'm like, you know what? That's that person. They don't mean anything directly to me. And even if they did, because we get comments on here where people, use it as an expletive to us directly. I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. I know who I am. I'm solid enough in who I am. I just don't like it. It is offensive to me. Seeing things on television or the ads on the internet are very offensive. Half naked, half dressed people. What Mark shared on his Facebook feed, I understand he was trying to get the word out, but still it was very, very offensive to me. And, but we get past it. And that's what normal people do unless you're trying to create a political change. And I would really like it if they'd try to create a political change where people couldn't be like so perverted and vile. I mean, couldn't we go that route?
No, they won't allow that in the UK.
I mean, seriously. I mean, couldn't we just start jailing people for using the F-bomb or for like
gender stereotypes,
crude movies that are like, I'm just saying, like, if we're going to go any route, that's the route I would go. But whatever.
Danger. I mean, Islam poses a danger and a threat. Every single day there's another threat.
That was a joke, by the way.
There's threats. And so the biggest threat right now, and people don't realize it, to Europe is this Islamation, and I'm actually happy about it. Sorry, guys. I'm happy because it's bringing people back to Christ. I mean, Britain first is like, we're a Christian country. I don't know how many of them like are really strong Christians.
But at least they're saying it.
But at least they're saying it. You're a Christian country. Oh, on that note, did you know the UK is thinking about banning Franklin Graham?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, so
if there is anything in the entire world, okay, do y'all know that Barack Hussein Insane Obama met with Billy Graham? Every president, my entire life, and before that, has met with Billy Graham. He is like Switzerland of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? So his son, Franklin
Graham a hate speech preacher,
is supposed to kind of carry on that flagship of Switzerland of Christianity. You know what? If we're going to accept anybody with Christianity, we're going to accept
British
the Grahams.
Parliamentarians, along with over 6,000 people, have signed an online petition to ban Franklin Graham from entering the country because they say he used hate speech against Muslims and LGBT people. He is scheduled to speak next September. The evangelist has taken a strong biblical stance against homosexuality, calling it a sin. Ooh. Oh. And warning those engaging in homosexual acts about the judgment of God. He has called Christians to boycott businesses that promote the LGBT agenda. He criticized Disney earlier this year for its remake of Beauty and the Beast that promotes homosexuality. They're trying to push an LGBT agenda into the hearts of your minds of your children. Watch out. The evangelist has also been an outspoken champion for the right to life and the preborn.
Wow.
And says that fundraising for Planned Parenthood is like fundraising for a fund for a Nazi death camp, which is absolutely true. So change.org petition accuses Graham of harboring hatred for Muslims and people with same-sex attraction. Unlike his father, Billy Graham, Franklin Graham engages in outspoken bigotry, targeting refugees, Muslims, and LGBT people. His father promoted unity and respect in communities, but Franklin Graham's extreme views promote prejudice and division. So you have this movement here where it's
So you can't quote the Bible.
During a question period in the House of Lords regarding hate crime prosecution, Lord Pearson of Rannoch asked the government to confirm that a Christian who states that Jesus is the only son of the one true God cannot be arrested for it. And Baroness Veery, representing the government, refused to comment. Lord Pearson's question to the government, which followed well-publicized trials of Christian street preachers, was as follows. My lords, will the government confirm that the latest definition from the Criminal Prosecution Service of a hate crime is one which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by prejudice based on a person's religion? Will the government therefore confirm unequivocally that a Christian who says that Jesus is the only son of the one true God cannot be arrested for a hate crime or any other offense, however much it may offend a Muslim or anyone of any religion? Baroness Very replied, I am not going to comment on that last question from the noble lord. However, I will say that when the public statements were revised, the definition did not change. It has been the same for the last 10 years. Lord Pearson told Premier Christianity that this refusal to answer his question, unprecedented in his experience, worried him. He suggested that religious freedom in the UK has been eroded by hate crime legislation and that this is being done to please Muslim. What constitutes a hate crime in the United Kingdom is unclear and is largely based on the extent to which the feelings of the injured party have been hurt.
Pause right there, though, because that's what makes me so upset about this whole hate crime thing. There's nothing that is cut and dry. It's just how you felt about what was said that offended you, that you know what I mean, dictates the crime.
Anything can be a hate crime. Anything at that point can be a hate crime. So Franklin Graham, see, this is what you allow all these imams in, all the Muslims in the world, and Franklin stinking Graham. Like,
but the imams can come that want to. They exist, okay? Whether you want to say that it's all Muslims or not, whatever. You have to concede the fact that there are imams that go in and they preach suicide bombing. They preach that infidels should die. They preach homosexuals should be thrown off of buildings, and that's okay.
Here's the thing, though. Honestly, I'm afraid to go to UK.
I'm not coming.
Like, what happens if I say something? I don't want to go to UK
want
prison.
Things to change. Because you know what? When I was a kid, we used to watch like The Hiding Place or other movies.
I don't want to go to
when
UK
you went to
prison.
like Asian countries or something like that, and people could be just jailed. You know, and as a little girl, I remember being so afraid to go to those countries. And now, like Europe, all of Europe is turning into that.
This makes so much sense because, like, so many Christians throughout the ages in England have been put in prison.
Yes.
That's where
they're just keeping with
Pilgrim's Progress. John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress was written. He was in house prison or something.
That's how America got started, man.
But he was speaking out for Christianity, and he was imprisoned.
Exactly.
The Plymouth Pilgrims.
Yeah.
If I go there and they arrest me, I'm going to say not during the Plymouth 400 years, because you had the reason
already arrested people.
We're
for their
celebrating
religion.
the fact that these people were imprisoned by you for speaking out and just being Christians. And so this would be really bad.
So Britt Baza, aka Barry, is trying to convince us that it's safe. He says that the UK is safe enough as long as you steer clear of the cities.
They put Jada in prison.
Here's the thing: we're going to try to come for the 400th anniversary in 2020.
They might not. They might not let us at this point.
Yeah, they may not. They may not
let us in.
Sean says, "No, you have to come. We were going to take you out for fish and chips." That is a really good lure to get us.
Just
to come.
keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything that might upset anyone.
Yes, exactly. All right, so I can't believe they haven't decided yet whether Franklin Graham is going to be.
No. It's still planned for September 18th.
Okay.
But
like you said, if they're going to allow the imams to come.
But it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know.
Here, I'm going to scoot this back for you a little bit.
It's like Madonna can travel all over the world.
Yeah.
She's like one of the most repulsive beings on the face of the planet. It's like you can be as disgusting as you want.
Right. But
And
don't
go
be
anywhere.
wholesome. Don't be wholesome and don't quote scripture and don't
say
say what Jesus said about homosexuality.
No.
Do not do that.
That's what everybody likes to say. Jesus didn't say anything about homosexuality. Jesus did.
Are you serious?
He said if you look at a woman to lust after her, you've already committed adultery in your heart. And he said at Paul, which Paul goes on to say, listen, this is what we talk about all the time. When we say something, when the Bible says something is a sin, it doesn't mean that you go out and eradicate it. That's the difference between the Quran
Islam and Christianity.
Right. Christianity doesn't force our beliefs on other people.
Right.
And what we constitute as a sin or a moral sin. Okay? You don't go to prison for adultery. You don't go to jail for homosexuality or anything like that. Anything, or drunkenness even, right? Maybe public intoxication around here. But my point is that...
Yeah, but that can hurt somebody.
Islam takes the ideas, Islam takes their ideas from Judaism and Christianity and turns it into what the worst parts of it, which is what people actually accuse Christians of being.
Right.
And what some Christians have been.
Right.
But it's not what Christianity is. It's not who Jesus is. Jesus was very loving. He was very accepting. The people that Jesus really, really hammered were the religious elites, and I would call them the globalists, the EU presidents, the people who wish to control other people, who lead people down bad paths.
Yes.
Okay, not the little people who are in sin. The little people who are in sin, like the woman at the well. You know, hey, you had 5 husbands, and the one you're with isn't even your husband, but you know, I love you.
Yeah.
You know,
that's who Jesus is.
You who without sin cast the first stone. So but while he was with sinners, he said he didn't
coddle them and say
coddle
stay
them.
in it. I have come to set you free from sin is a bondage.
A woman caught in adultery, he said, listen, I don't condemn you. These people, nobody's here with a stone anymore. I told them to drop their stones. Now, go and sin no more. Just go. Don't do it again.
Right.
Don't stay there.
Right.
Right. And so Christianity is about pulling people out of things that hurt themselves and hurt other people. Right. And so we have homosexuals, we have transgenders, we have people who watch us, we have people who probably fornicate, people who are in adultery, people
those fornicators,
crazy things like that.
I'm
not calling out and telling everybody fix your lives right now. Okay, if you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior and you allow Him in, He's going to change you. Right. And I can sit down and we can go over the New Testament and say, this is probably what's going to happen as you come to know Jesus. These things are just going to fall off of you as you seek to be holy and you seek to be righteous. As Paul says, some of you used to do all kind of crazy things. Okay, we all crazy.
Yep,
we all crazy without Jesus. So
Paul says he was the chief sinner. So before we get to the song, we're going to sing the first Noel. Redneck has sent us a video, and he just asked me if we were going to share it. It is his version of the accent challenge. Here's what I would really, really like to do. I would love it if more of you would submit some videos for the accent challenge. And then I want to do, the reason I haven't shared it yet is because I want to be able to fit it in somewhere where it goes, but it is really good and I'm excited about it. So any accent that you guys have that you think that you're good at outside of your own, I want you guys to submit some videos and we will show it on air. So I'll probably do a separate video of that requesting you guys to do this. But I think that would be really, really fun. So, whoa, that's pretty good.
Oh.
Huh?
No,
we're ready.
Around.
We're ready.
Are you ready? Okay.
The first Noel, the angels would say, was too certain for shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel, and by the light of that same star, 3 wise men came from country far to seek for a king was their intent, and to follow that star wherever it went. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. This star drew nigh to the northwest, or Bethlehem it took its rest, and there it did both stop and stay right o'er the place where Jesus lay. Noel, 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 born is the
the King of Israel. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel. Yay!
Hey, Merry Christmas! I am so excited that we get to share Christmas with Resistance Chicks viewers.
Yeah.
We started last January, just after the Christmas season. On January 1st was our first pilot program. And I love that we are now full circle, almost a whole year, and getting to celebrate this amazing holiday with you guys. We didn't practice this one, buddy. What do you got here?
It's the right key.
Okay, I'm going to pull this up here.
Three kings of Orient are bearing gifts. We travel so far, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again, king forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Frankincense to offer have I, incense, oh, the deity night, prayer and praising, home and raising, worshiping God on high.
Let's go to the first word.
Myrrh is mine, it's a bitter perfume, breeze a life of gathering bloom, sorrow sighing, bleeding, dying, sealed in a stone cold tomb. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God and sacrifice. Alleluia, alleluia, sounds through the earth and skies. Back up. Oh, where are we? We're sorry.
Right there, bud.
Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading,
I love that song.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so I like how Patriot Gallery, we are in a war. Kind of just feel like a war song there, doesn't it? We're going to do Mary, Did You Know? Yeah. I was practicing it. I think we can, not today.
Not today.
We're going to get Leah on the guitar there, and because a lot of you guys have been asking for that. You got another one? Okay, last one, and then we have to go.
I don't know if it might be better to raise this one up. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our heavenly Father, the blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
I don't know, I lost it. I don't even know those words.
Born a king on... Wait a second. Born a king on...
Is that, no?
Where are we? Where are...
Born a king on, did we do that one already?
No, we haven't. Born a king on Bethlehem's plain. Gold I bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never over us all to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. You know what? They combined two songs with this one.
I know, I'm wondering, like, what the heck is going
God bless
on?
you, dear gentlemen, with We Three Kings. That's what they did.
Who did that?
That's what they did. That's what they
They
did.
can't do that.
They did.
They cannot do it.
That's what they did, actually.
I'm like, hang on, we just sang that song. Right?
I know.
Now go back to We Three Kings. I mean, go back to the God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
Actually, it comes up on, it says, actually supposed to be this capo here.
All right, let's do it. Try it one more time. Dang, that's weird.
I don't know how this is going to turn out. God rest ye merry God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. All tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. All tidings of comfort and joy. From God our heavenly Father, the blessed angel came, and unto certain
Shout to the Lord, sing praises, all you within this place. And with true love and brotherhood, each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas, all others doth deface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Now you sing, I'll sing.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power, and we were gonna stray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
I like it.
From God our Heavenly Father, the blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same. How that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
All right, so thank you guys for being with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring that bell so you get notifications. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Don't forget, we go live every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to cover our European and UK news, which is what you were here with us today to participate in. We love your comments. There are a lot of them that were amazing that I did not get to read out loud. So if you would please be so kind, after the video processes,
Who sent this?
put your
Bill, thank you, Bill.
put your comments in the comment section for others to read, because I know that you guys had a lot of really pertinent comments. So,
people.
2 things to wrap up. We may or may not be going live this coming Sunday, which is New Year's Eve. Michelle's vote is to do so,
It's Christmas Eve.
because I would like to give the gift
You said this week.
this week.
Was New Year's Eve.
Did I say New Year's Eve? Christmas. For sure we'll do New Year's Eve. I can almost promise you that. But Christmas Eve this coming Sunday. I would like to. We will see. We will let you know by Friday. Also, Redneck Survivalist has submitted his accent challenge. Sean and Tracy already did theirs. I want more of you guys to submit your accent challenge. You can email them to me
Where
at
are you from? Even if you have an accent,
at
just
gmail.com.
speak.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Okay, you guys, we're going to sign off here. I don't know when we'll see you again. Sometime this week.
Definitely.
Because we can't not come to see you.
Because we
miss
love you. We love you.
very much. Very,
Very,
much.
very much.
All right, thanks to our moderators who were here. Texas Rancher Gary Sooks, Maia, Worth a Luck. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I'm not sure.
I haven't said hi.
Gibson.
I haven't said hi to Adeline.
Hi, Adeline. We haven't seen you in a while. I know Claire was on here for a little bit. You guys need to go subscribe to her family's channel, which is Big Family Homestead. They are doing amazing work.
Please
out
do
in
Christmas
Wisconsin.
Eve. It would be great.
I know a lot of you guys have asked us to do Christmas Eve. I don't know if you just don't have plans. And you know what we've done in the past? We've never had anybody take us up on it, except for God has brought people into our lives for Christmas. Is we've opened up our home on Thanksgiving and Christmas via Facebook for people to come for dinner. Since we can't do that this year, I think it is only fitting. My vote, Michelle's vote, is for us to go live on Sunday, again, like we always do at 1 p.m. So we shall see. If we don't do it at 1, we might do it in the evening sometime if we have time.
Remember, we work, we're most busiest on Christmas and New Year's and holidays, so.
Okay, so Maya says, challenge Say Perfect to do the accent challenge, Michelle. Say. Do the accent challenge, man.
Pick one. Oh my gosh,
Or do a slew of them.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
All right, so for sure, Say has to do the accent
With a
challenge.
couple puns.
If you guys aren't subscribed to Say Perfect, please go and do so right now.
Maya, thank you for the muscle thing. It's helped Michelle greatly.
Otto says, I can do Central American fast food employee accent very well.
Do it.
I love it.
Hello. Would you like fry with that?
I want you guys to submit your videos. I think this could be a lot of fun. So I will make a separate video imploring you to do so. All right, so we're going to sign off now. Thank you for sticking with us through
We have
our,
to do some Christmas shopping.
Yeah, we're going Christmas shopping. I really hate to go. I don't know the words to that one. Really want to stay. It's not that cold out.
No, it's gotten really warm today. It's not even cold.
I'll take my hat
and my guitar.
Okay.
But
No,
you'll
we're really
never
going.
very far.
You're just a video away.
Just a video away.
All right, we love you guys. Good evening. Thank you to our UK viewers who are here because you're, you know, and not just our UK viewers, but those across the pond, anywhere in Europe. I know you're staying up late for us to not that late, but
Depends. I mean, what time is it in Australia?
I don't know. Oh, look, you can still see that shiner on my face. It's pretty
like
significant.
The next morning yet?
The next day, they're in the future. All right, we're rattling on. Good night, guys.